We have a spot of good news, a little bit of good news. We don't really know how far this good news is going to take us, but, we should at least acknowledge it for what it is and appreciate it and be grateful. So, Aaron Reed reporting that 21 states have filed an amicus brief with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals asking that trans bathroom access be protected. They report 0 negative incidents from trans people in bathrooms and say that bans are unconstitutional. So it's from Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Colorado, Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, North Carolina. That's a shocker. The Attorney General from North Carolina, which was like the first conversation I remember having about bathroom use being restricted in America, was North Carolina and Gavin Grimm. That was a long time ago, man. And then, of course, like basically all of the New England states, with the exception of New Hampshire. My partner had the same reaction to seeing North Carolina on the list. Yeah, just kind of unexpected there. So this is one of the largest briefs for trans rights that's been filed so far. The states utilized extensive constitutional precedent, and there are 13 pages of studies and case law to ask the Ninth Circuit to uphold bathroom rights. Importantly, the states note that in the states signing the brief that have protected trans bathroom rights, there have been 0 negative incidents of trans people harassing cis people in bathrooms or locker rooms. Like, public schools have reported no instances of transgender students harassing others in restrooms or locker rooms. Indeed, the experiences of school administrators in 31 states and the District of Columbia show that public safety concerns are unfounded, as are concerns that students will pose as transgender simply to gain improper restroom access. Dude, that's lit. The brief does report from a study it cites that over half of all trans students with issues around bathroom access and safety report holding their urine to the point of often developing kidney or urinary problems. Yeah, so respondents say, 54% of the respondents reported having some sort of physical problem from trying to avoid using public restrooms. All of them reported that they, quote, held it to avoid public restrooms. Health problems that responded reported due to avoiding using the restroom include dehydration, urinary tract infections, kidney infection, and other kidney-related problems. 6% of respondents have seen a doctor for health problems caused by avoiding public restrooms. One respondent explained, "I had avoided using public restrooms for so many years and would hold it when I needed to go that now my bladder is weaker." Another respondent described how excessive continence might aggravate an existing medical condition, saying, quote, "I have kidney problems already. I know it's not good for me to hold it, but the alternative could be much worse." Like, I know I've known this for like a long time. Yeah, it's not only are trans people not causing problems in bathrooms, but we do have, like, as a population, higher prevalence of UTIs, bladder infections, kidney complications because of, like, just holding our pee all the time, I forgot. Yes, all these institutions are afraid of being canceled by big trans. That's my bad. Does this mean that there is a trans bathroom case at the Supreme Court right now? No, it does mean that there is a trans bathroom bill case at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals right now. So it means that there is a Supreme Court case on the way, potentially. And there actually is a Supreme Court case happening right now from the ACLU, but I haven't looked at the details of it, I don't think. But what's in your pants? At this point, it's pee, because I can't access the bathroom. God, that's true. The brief also highlights the extensive precedent around this issue, wherein the 4th, 7th, and 9th Circuit trans bathroom access issues were ruled in favor of trans plaintiffs. Right. So showing the, like, precedent, like, why are you going to not uphold the precedent, basically? Courts across the U.S. have determined that trans people have the right to access bathrooms which match their gender. Obviously, Grimm versus Gloucestershire County, the 4th Circuit Court. Similarly, in the 7th Circuit, AC versus Metropolitan School District of Martinsville ruled in favor of the trans plaintiff. And as well as the 9th Circuit Court, which is hearing this case, has a favorable precedent. In Parents for Privacy versus Barr, it was ruled that trans bathroom access does not violate other students' privacy. An additional interesting argument Aaron points out is that Title IX does not define sex as, quote, biological, assigned at birth, or determined by chromosomes. This is an additional interpretation of Title IX that is not supported by the text of the law. Yeah, so it says Title IX's implementation regulation does not require separation of the enumerated facilities exclusively on, quote, chromosomes and internal and external reproductive anatomy. Neither Title IX nor its implementing regulations define sex in such terms. Title IX's statutory language broadly prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex, and courts, including the U.S. Supreme Court, have uniformly recognized that discrimination based on gender identity is sex discrimination. That's fucking really, really a good point. Yeah, that, like, these laws try to define sex as biological, assigned at birth, determined by chromosomes, and or like you're producing large gametes or what have you. But like that's not what Title IX says. And like Title IX is very broad to like such a degree that it has been interpreted as including gender identity and like gender expression as well. True, the Constitution does not guarantee the right to pee. If the founding fathers wanted us to pee, they would have said so. So yeah, Aaron Reed points out that like obviously this issue is barreling towards the Supreme Court. If the Court of Appeals, if the Ninth Circuit Court determines that trans people deserve bathroom access, then it's possible that that's going to get appealed up even further, essentially, is how this goes. Oh, so Aaron points out that there's already a case in the Seventh Circuit that is being appealed to the Supreme Court currently. But yeah, it's great that there's 21 states, and of course, Kansas is not one of them. Thanks, Ken Paxton. But like, or hold on, is Ken Paxton the Texas one? Did I get the names messed up? I thought Ken Paxton was the Kansas Attorney General. Don't remember. But yeah, it's a little bit of good news. It's a spot of good news that 21 states are filing this amicus brief and saying, hey, yo, Ninth Circuit, will you please follow precedent and conclude that trans people have access to the bathrooms and it's fine. We don't cause any harm. You know, we deserve the protection in those spaces. Chris Kobach? Is it Chris Kobach? That's probably it. Chris Kobach. It's another K name. Ken Paxton is Texas. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I said Ken Paxton, and then I realized, like, no. Merry holidays and Happy New Year to my patrons and potential future patrons. Today, I would love to thank Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rolvag, Amanda B., Michelle Frateroli, Wellington Marcus, Michelle Winter, Danielle McDonald, DZXN, Suzanne Maynard, Spooky Heather Sylvia, Past Null Infinity, Jamie Jam, Nova, Elizabeth Bartell, Sojo, Sarah A., Kevin Young, Athiet, Celeste, Desi Quiche, Liam Hodgson, and Mr. Atheist.